Hey folks, it's Steve with Prima Coffee here. Today we're going to take a look at the Synesso MVP Hydra. Now this is a commercial espresso machine with a lot of really great features, kind of a high-end thing. So if you are the kind of person who really wants to play with sort of pressure profiling as you extract your espresso, the Hydra is pretty much tailor-made for you. We have a lot of really interesting features here to jump into. So I'm going to start by showing you the kind of the brewing modes that are built in this machine. If you look at the display, you'll see a couple of different things going on here. We have our shot timer up top. We have this whole little bar system down display at the bottom, and then we have a letter. So the M means that I'm currently in manual brewing mode. So the MVP has 3 modes per group that you can run. There's M, MP, and VP. I also have a sort of double stage group here, a paddle which I can shift either left or to the right. And in order to change my brewing mode, I just need to shift left and hold it for a few seconds until you see MP show up, and then again, and you'll see VP show up. And then one more time, and I can go back into M for manual brewing mode. Now, to kind of explain what these indicators are here, I'll tell you a little bit about the way that these extractions actually work on this machine. So we have a line pressure. That's actually the first little indicator there. Line pressure just coming from your water main, usually 3 to 4 bars. We have then a sort of blended pressure where the pump will kick on but run a bypass, which is adjustable. So if you were to set it to 6 bars or something like that, and your actual maximum pump pressure is 9, you could set that up as your sort of secondary pump stage. The third indicator here is full pump pressure with no bypass. So that would be, in this case, perhaps 9 bars. So we start with about 3 going up to 7 or 8 to 9, and then you can actually set it to go back down to your bypass stage again. So if I want to run through these settings manually, I'll just tap to the left. That will start my line pressure. And say we'll do a little bit of pre-infusion. After 5 seconds, I'll go up to that bypass stage. Now I'm running a little bit higher than 8 bars. And we'll let that go for a few seconds and then go into full pump pressure. And then as I get to the end of the shot, or as I want to dial in certain flavors, I can go back into bypass mode. And then finally, one more tap stops the shot. Now I've just run a manual profile. If I taste my shot and I say that that tastes great, I can actually save this as a volumetric profile. What I would do is I would shift right and hold. Now this is actually in save lockout mode, so the little red triangle there tells me that I can't actually save this. I would have to go into the included computer, take it out of lockout mode. But if you are a trainer or an equipment technician or something for your company, you would probably be the one to take care of that. You would be able to save these profiles out to both groups and set them up as the dedicated profiles for the machine for the different coffees that you're running. Now, if I want to go into a different profile mode, let's say MP, MP runs a little bit differently. I'll just tap it to start. What it's going to do is it's going to automate the pre-infusion stage and then kick into the bypass pump pressure, and then all the way up to the full pressure. From there, however, it's up to me as the barista. I can shift left again to go into that bypass stage, and then left once more to stop the shot. Or at any point, I can just shift right to stop the shot. Now, that's basically probably the more common production mode that you might use in a cafe, where you'll have the machine do your pre-infusion stages for you, ramp up the shot, and you can program that in the computer. But that's probably the easiest way to start. You grind your coffee, you tamp it, you get it all prepped, throw it into the machine, shift it over, and then maybe prep your milk or syrups or something like that. Come back to the machine, and then as you monitor and watch the shot, you can either shift it over into bypass mode or stop it as needed. To look at the final profile, or the final brewing mode, we have the VP, and this is a fully programmed mode. So as you saw in the manual, I can manually brew a shot, dial it in, and say, okay, this is what I would like to apply to the machine to continue brewing sort of automatically for me. You can store 2 profiles standard per group. So I have a 1 up here where I can shift right and go to 2, right again to 1. You can actually store up to 6 profiles per group, but standard is just set to 2 for simplicity's sake. But as I run this profile, you'll see that it progresses through all of the settings that are stored. Automatically stops, automatically starts, and automatically progresses through those stages. So this is essentially a volumetric or automatic setting for the machine. So for a very, very busy cafe where you really just need to focus on getting good quality shots out, prepping those drinks, getting them out to customers, that's probably your desired brew mode for this machine. To cover some of the other features that we have, aside from just the brewing modes, we've got standard steel port filters, 58 millimeter with precision baskets. Oops, we have a 7.7 liter steam tank and 1.9 liter brew boilers per group. We also have independent pumps per brew group. So since we're doing these kind of advanced pressure profiling modes, you want to make sure that you're going to be able to precisely hit that pressure every time and make that, you know, a reliable part of your espresso production. So Synesso includes independent pumps per group. They're rotary vane pumps, they're commercial quality, they're going to be very reliable. And you don't really have to worry about, especially in a high volume environment, let's say you're working on a 3-group model, you know, if you're running 2 groups already and you throw that third one on, you might actually see a loss of pressure in other machines. With this machine, you're not going to see any loss of pressure. You're going to hit the same pressure targets every time reliably. We also have cool touch steam wands, and the actuators have a, I'll just purge a little bit there, but the actuators have kind of a mechanical taper, so you can taper the steam pressure to whatever you need. So if you're doing smaller drinks, you can use a lower steam pressure or flow rate, and doing a larger drink, you can just kind of throw it on full blast, get your texture right, and serve a drink nice and quick. Finally, we have a hot water one that actually falls right in between the groups with just a capacitive touch button. So that is programmed for a certain amount of time. And then there's a blending valve inside the machine so you can mix your hot water with cold. Really useful for, you know, Americanos or something like that. You really don't want to serve a drink that's too hot, so we're going to be able to dial in the temperature of the water that way. Finally, we have this computer that's attached to the machine. Now this is sort of more for fine tuning. You can go into this, you can tune pretty much everything. Set your steam temperature, your boiler temperatures, the seconds of pre-infusion, you can go into the profiles that you have saved as well and kind of fine tune things. You can change the flow meter, revolutions, basically make really fine tuned tweaks without having to go back and pull another shot completely. Like if you're finding that it's just running 1 second too long, you can go back in here and just change that value instead of going back to the manual mode, pulling a shot that's 1 second shorter and having to go through saving that again. So you have basically 2 ways to modify how your shots are pulling on this machine, which gives you kind of a lot of control over precisely tuning your shots of espresso. So there it is. That's the MVP Hydra. You have a ton of technology, a ton of versatility, especially with the 3 different brew modes per group, and really just a lot of control over fine-tuning your espresso shots to get them exactly as you need them, as well as kind of program things in and make sure that you have a set profile for a higher volume shop. So really fantastic quality machine, lots of stuff to love here. That's a Synesso MVP Hydra. Thanks for watching.